Engage fluo injectors.
Engaging fluo injectors.
Fluo reactors at 80%, sir.
Fluo containment field is destabilizing.
Emergency fluo containment protocols now. All hands brace for impact.
Brace for impact in 3, 2, 1.
Holy balls! World 1-1 Podcast is back with a brand new episode.
Choose your fighter.
I am, as always, your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder, and joining me this week is my partner in crime, Michael, displeased to be here, Brown.
Yep.
He's not actually displeased to be here, he's just displeased that his camera's on.
Yep.
All right. So, this week, we're doing Games of the Week, and in the back half of the show, in the third half, we've got a special interview with Barry from Premium Edition Games, a hard copy Hounds special feature. So, with all that out of the way, make sure that you subscribe, gently caress the subscribe button, and slide us into your RSS feed with copious amounts of lubricant. I hear coconut oil is good, but if that's not your thing, KY's always there. But let's get into...
Oh my gosh!
Video games.
Michael, what the fuck have you been playing this week? Tell me about it.
I started playing Darksiders 2 again.
Did you?
Yeah, this time I'm playing the Switch version. Just because, I don't know, I watched The Crow recently.
Okay.
For the first time in millennia. And the guy who plays one of the main villains in it, Top Dollar, is the guy who voices Death.
Really?
So, yeah. So hearing him...
Did not realize this.
He also played in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Huh.
He was the Sheriff of Nottingham's right-hand man.
Okay.
You'd recognize the voice immediately. He's got... Michael Wincott has a very gravelly voice. It's perfect for what they used it for, to be honest.
Okay.
But, so I've been wanting to play Darksiders 2 again. I decided... I bought the Switch version, had never even opened it, so I was like, fuck it, I'll check how this one was.
That sounds like a you and me thing all over.
Oh, yeah. Well, the first game, the first Darksiders, the Switch version is the definitive version of it. It's perfect. Because they released the War Mastered Edition for all major systems, but the PlayStation 4 version had massive sound issues.
I remember you telling me about this, yeah.
The Switch version didn't. The Switch version was perfect. So, but then, Darksiders 2, I'm running into the issue that glitches galore. Periodically, certain sound effects will just stop working.
That's weird and unsettling.
Yeah, I went through 2 cutscenes with no dialogue whatsoever. There was another point where the game glitched and enemies just wouldn't recognize I was there, and I couldn't hit them.
This just makes me think there's a real missed opportunity that the MST3K crew doesn't do terrible video games.
Honestly, now that you mention, I'm kind of surprised no one does.
Uh-huh.
Maybe we ought to.
There's a market for it. There has to be.
Yeah, something.
You and I would be great for that.
Yes, we would.
God.
But beyond that, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time with it. I found every time there's a major glitch like that, just getting out of the game and then going back in usually resets it. Sleep mode does not fix it.
That doesn't surprise me because sleep mode isn't really shutting it down, and it's still running.
Yeah, but I found just closing the software and opening it back up tends to work so far.
At least there's that.
And it's making me remember the reasons why Darksiders 2 is actually my least favorite of the series. And that's mainly because I don't like the fact that every time you find a new weapon, you have to stop and compare and contrast the stats to it. Like, I just want to play the game. Like, I don't want to have to deal with all that shit. But you're constantly having to juggle what's better, feeding your possessed weapons and shit like that, trying to get the perfect build. Like, as I said, each of the games, they kind of stole some stuff from a specific genre. And this is very much the MMO feel. But it just, I don't know, like, with the way they did it, it doesn't work.
See, you just hit on the exact reason why I don't like getting into Metroidvanias that have more of the RPG elements to it.
Right.
Like, I don't want to fish through the fucking menus and shit. I just want to play my damn game.
It depends on the game. Like, Symphony of the Night was perfect. But beyond that, like, yeah, it gets tedious as fuck. I'm also disliking how many of these Metroidvanias are like, it's a Metroidvania Souls-like. Fuck you. I don't want to play that. Like, Ender Lilies was good, but I will never touch it again. What else? But, like, yeah, as I said, that's my, like, because that's what I really loved about the first game is you got 2 extra weapons, but you never get a new sword. Like, you start with your sword, you end the game with the same weapon. That is your signature weapon, and it makes sense. However, I will give them credit in the second one. They actually made it make sense why Death doesn't use his own personal weapon.
Oh, what'd they do?
It's story.
I don't remember now.
He doesn't have the backing of the council in the job he's doing, so he couldn't use the weapons and powers bestowed to him by the council.
Okay.
So he's picking up
that
new
jives.
weapons as he goes. It makes sense. I like the fact, that little touch.
Yeah. Anything else been spinning in your disc tray, cartridge slot, and preloaded micro SD card?
Words with Friends?
Yeah?
That's about it.
I didn't realize you were playing that.
Yeah, I've been playing it for quite a while. It's just mindless. It's something mindless I can do while either on the toilet or at work.
Right.
Which equate to about the same thing.
That's accurate. Oh, let's see. All right. So I went through and I downloaded a bunch of demos of stuff just to dick around with because I was looking for something new to play and I didn't really have my heart set on any one particular thing. So I'm like, let's see what's out there. And I checked out the demo for Imp of the Sun, which has been getting advertised semi-heavily on Facebook, at least in my feed.
Uh-huh.
I
downloaded the shit out of that demo too. I haven't touched it yet, but that's my next acquisition as soon as I'm done with Darksiders 2.
Yeah. So I can confidently say, do not let the trailer fool you with Imp of the Sun, because the trailer, the animation looks like real framey and choppy. The game is not...
It's janky.
There you go. Yeah. The game is not like that. It actually looks and plays smooth in-game. So I thought it was real. I'm like, why would you release a trailer like this then? That's like, who okayed this?
Yeah.
I'm still flummoxed by that.
Trying to sabotage themselves. Like, hey, let's
Kinda.
do this race, but I'm going to shoot myself in the foot first.
Yeah, basically. But I had a lot of fun with it. It feels like a little more kid or younger audience skewed version of Ori, which kind of makes sense. I mean, the whole thematic and aesthetic matches kind of the box quote that they put on the trailer, which is that, it's like a Peruvian homage to Ori, and that feels fairly accurate actually. So, but the demo that I played through was actually a lot of solid fun, and I will definitely be picking that up and rolling through it, because I'm curious to see where the rest of that game goes. Also checked out the demo for Foregone. It's not bad. I can't say that there's anything there that screams standout, but what I played was not bad. Again, more Metroidvania-ishness. Kind of rundown cyber future. The Earth is overrunning technology again and reclaiming itself type deal, sort of look and feel. Your main weapon's going to be melee, limited range, but you do have a secondary firearm. And this kind of ties back to what you and I were talking about a minute ago, where you'll pick up a bunch more weapons along the way that you're kind of comparing and contrasting stats as you go along, but it's fairly simplified down. Like it takes you about a quarter of a second to go, guess this one or no that one. Let's just scrap your old shit though for material to upgrade other stuff as you go along. So it's almost got a little touch of Borderlands in that respect, except the guns aren't near the weapons and pickups aren't nearly as plenty as Borderlands. It's not terrible, and I'll probably end up picking it up and playing all the way through it at some point. Just I think Imp of the Sun has a little more personality going for it, with the whole hand-drawn art style instead of the 16 to 32-bit pixel art, which wasn't bad in Foregone, but it just didn't feel like anything special. So, other than that, I've been screwing around with Slay the Spire again. I actually finally managed to beat a run with the Silent, so that made me happy. So I've got 2 characters that have complete runs now, and I got 2 more. I'm working on figuring out the kinks with the defect. He's a fucking weird one to try and get your head around. Like, he's probably he's definitely the most drastically different between the opening 3 characters. Because the first 2 are pretty straightforward. You've got essentially a barbarian character, which is like, yep, just beat everything into submission. And then the Silent, I really, really learned to like, because he's kind of like if we were playing Magic, he would be a black and green character. Lots of poison and little jabby things going on. The poison mechanic that was exclusive to the Silent was a lot of fun, just because you could start stacking poison counters for absurd quantities of damage that just made me giggle when somebody had 3 health left and about 73 poison counters on them. End your turn, deal 73 damage.
Check out the Battle Chasers game.
I do, agreed.
Like, it's you can find
it's
it
on my
very
wish
cheap
list
at this point. It's unique enough as an RPG that I think you'd still enjoy it because of some of the mechanics to it.
Okay. No, it's still on my list. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. But no, like I said, I finally actually completed a run with the Silent, and so I've been working on really getting my head around the mechanics of the defect. And he's a fucking weird one, because he has like orbs that they call it channeling, and you start any run with the defect with 3 orb slots, and there's a bunch of different types of orbs that all have like passive and active effects. And so whenever you end your turn, it triggers the passive effect of all your channeled orbs. But say you've got 3 orb slots and you channel another orb, whichever the foremost orb is, then gets triggered with its active effect. So the whole thing's kind of a continuously sliding thing. It definitely adds a really enjoyable and interesting layer of thought and strategy to how you play with him compared to the other characters that just wasn't there with the others. But I like it. It's definitely an extra consideration for trying to get my head around figuring out how to build out my deck as I'm playing through runs with the defect. But he's fun. He's just very different. So, other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've been really sinking into. Picked up a whole bunch of demos. I dicked around with Ori again, actually, for a little bit yesterday. Not real long, just enough to, I needed a, what's the word?
Palette cleanser?
No, I needed a dopamine generator.
Fair enough.
And Ori does that for me. So,
First one, second one.
First one.
Mhm.
First one's way easier for me to go back to.
Fair.
The second one is probably the objectively better game, but much like SteamWorld Dig, I like the first one better.
I don't know if I'd say that. They're so different that
They are.
I enjoyed the shit out of both of them.
No, you're right. I'll give you that. I don't know if one is objectively better than the other. They are definitely different and both very good, but one was more to my taste because it was more mobility and platform focused as opposed to combat.
Right.
And the mobility and platforming in the first one felt so good.
Yeah, it did.
So I really do want a mode though for that where you can strip out all the artwork, and I just want to play it with like wireframe or pixel just the hitbox boundaries. Like I want to see the actual boundaries of everything behind all the artwork. Because the hitboxes and other assorted things do not line up exactly perfect with the artwork in a lot of places. And I want to see just the stripped out version. Like I want to peel the wallpaper off and see just the bare gears behind it while I play.
Wonder if you could do that on PC.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Should ask Milton if he's got something for that.
Did.
But yeah, I think that's about what I've been playing lately. Just kind of time eaters, but there's a few that I've got my eye on for this week to check out. Like I said, I picked up the demo for Scourgebringer. That's had my eye for a little bit. A few other odds and ends, but nothing super major. Oh no, I know what else I've played recently. I went back and I was screwing around with Metroid Prime 3 actually.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't touched that in ages. So I think I told you the story this last weekend when we were talking, but Zoe said that they wanted to check out the Metroid Prime games because it was the only hunk of the series where she didn't really have a grasp of the story in them. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So I drugged the GameCube upstairs, hooked it all up and everything, handed the wife the controller. 10 minutes in, fuck this, I can't deal with these controls, this is awful, I'm done. And so later on in the afternoon, a thought occurred to me while we were sitting down here. So I turned on the Wii U, loaded up the trilogy version. I said, try this. I'm just curious. Starts playing, goes, this is much better. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? But no, Zoe's like, yeah, no, I could play this actually. I'm like, okay. So yeah, that's been my adventures in gaming as far as what I've actually been playing of late. So, well, I think that means we've hit a great pause point here. And after the break, we'll be back with our special premium edition interview from Hard Copy Hounds with Barry talking about the Series 4 releases from Premium Edition Games. So we'll see you right back here after the break. Welcome to Hard Copy Hounds, the internet's go-to place for all your physical limited print gaming needs, wants, and secret desires. I am, as always, your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me is special guest Barry Carenza from Premium Edition Games.
Hello, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, Larry.
And we're here to talk Premium Edition Games Series 4 at last. So let's dive in. Last week you had the big Series 4 Direct. So let's cut right to the chase. Let's talk about what was in there. Was 4 games, correct?
We did announce 4 games and gave an update on another one, but Series 4 only consists of 2 games.
Is it?
Yes, Series 4 is only 2 games.
Okay. I swear I thought it was 4 in the release for Series 4, but
Nope.
I apparently misread that. I should have gone back and reread that, but that's what I get for looking at stuff at like 11:30 at night.
There you go.
All right. So 2 games in Series 4. What do we got? Let's talk about them.
Sure. So the first game we showed off was Wonderling DX. This is a puzzle platformer where you play the role of the equivalent of a Goomba, and your job is to stop the equivalent of Mario. You are actually the bad guy, and like a Goomba can only walk back and forth, so it is an auto runner in the sense that the Goomba never stops, the Wonderling itself never stops. And you get the ability to jump, and you get the ability to dash and fly, and all these other different quirky abilities as you go through the levels. Each level has a bunch of collectibles and secrets to discover, and because this is the DX version, there's even more added content on top of that, more bonus levels, harder content, new things to discover, and it's all complete on card, and it is truly a special game.
So let's go a little deeper. How did you guys land on Wonderling for Premium Edition Games?
So one of our members was at PAX and met the developers and fell in love with the game and came back and told us, hey, you know what? You guys got to try this game. So got us codes and we tried it. We said, this is a lot of fun. Like, we got to make this happen. So we met with the developers and, we were able to, pretty much have the stars align and we were blessed with Wonderling. But when we did, it was just Wonderling. And then we're like, well, there's new content coming out. So we delayed. We're like, all right, we want to wait until it's done and you could say, this is the complete game. And that's the version we want on card. So Wonderling DX is the final version of Wonderling. And this is it. So you're getting the complete game in one package.
Beautiful. And game number 2 from Series 4. What's on the back half of the docket for everybody?
So that's Rain on Your Parade is the second game. Rain on Your Parade is a crazy, hilarious title in the vein of like Katamari Damacy, Untitled Goose Game, like something like in that vein, where you play the role of a cloud suspended by strings, and you go from level to level completing objectives. It involves you obviously raining on things, you use lightning, wind, you get a bunch of different powers, different objectives per level for you to try and accomplish like primary objectives and then optional ones. There's a bunch of levels in this game. There's levels that pay homage to like Metal Gear Solid, Legend of Zelda, stuff like that. And then we've also included the paid DLC that is available. That gets you the developer commentary, that gets you brand new levels, a brand new power, new modes. You get the whole 9 yards. So you're getting this all complete on card.
Beautiful. And let's hear the story behind how we got to Rain on Your Parade.
I don't know exactly how. One of our team members discovered the game and decided to reach out, and they provided us codes, and we just had a meeting, and it was a really cool developer, and we loved the game. We said, this would be a lot of fun, and we felt right away when we played it, because we had Wonderling first. We try and match up games that we feel would go well together for a series, and we're like, oh, this would go great with Wonderling. You got that cartoon atmosphere, you got that fun, quirky style, you got the enough of a challenge, but also, it could be played with your family. It's not like Robot Named Fight with the shooting, and it's not like Demon's Tier with, all the, kind of more mature content and stuff like that. So we felt they would be a perfect pair. And again, the developers of both games have been absolutely wonderful to work with, and we're honored to work with them. And here they are, paired up together to be released to the world.
So for future series releases, then, are we going to start seeing more kind of at least loosely connected theme threads?
We try to. We've always tried to. We definitely don't want too polarizing of a thing. Series 1 was our first series. It was pretty much Super Blood Hockey and Pigeon Dev were the first ones to really give us a chance. Robot did as well, but Robot had had an update we wanted to wait for. Robot and Demon's Tier both more mature. They've got that kind of that gritty style. Cathedral and Phoenotopia are very similar in a lot of gameplay aspects. And Mighty Fight is the oddball there, but Mighty Fight fell into our lap and it was done, and we said let's just throw it in there and have fun with it because we fell in love with that game too. So yes, we're trying to. It's not a guarantee, but we want to try and keep similar titles that we feel would pair well together. But again, that's not to say, if for example, Fire Emblem wouldn't really go with these games, but if Nintendo said, oh, you could do the physical of the Fire Emblem 1 on the NES that we did digitally and then took away and gave you that fake physical edition, we would throw it in the series. We're not going to sleep on that. If something like that comes out, sure, but I'm not expecting that to happen, although please, Nintendo, if you're listening, we will do that.
Right. I think the closest we ever got confirmed to Nintendo listening was there was an episode years and years ago that Reggie and Bill Trinan ended up somewhere on our Twitter conversating with Per Schneider because we had Per on.
Oh, nice.
So we're somewhere in their orbit, but way the hell out of it. So who knows? There's an outside chance that somebody heard it. But now the Series 4 Direct, did have some other announcements in it besides Wonderling and Rain on Your Parade. You want to share what was in there? Because there was a couple of things, and there was one really kind of indie darling big thing in there.
Yes.
So
the first thing, we teased a couple things. So first we gave an update on Sunshine Anthology, which was our Kickstarter from 2 years ago that we paired with.
Fabulous, by the way.
The games are available on Steam. Both Camp Sunshine and Sunshine Manor are both available on Steam. They're in the porting process to the Switch, and that's what we're stuck waiting on. So hopefully they'll be done soon. We got an update right from the developer, and a lot of people still think it's just Camp Sunshine, and it's not. It's Sunshine Anthology. It's going to have, or just Sunshine Manor. It's going to have Camp Sunshine and Sunshine Manor in it. So it's 2 games in one. Really looking forward to getting them out there. Blast. Then we also talked a little bit about 2 of our team members that joined us, Josh and Sheena, who do Gamers for Gamers, and they run a charity called Gamers for Kids, and they put TVs, game consoles, games, set up everything in group homes and stuff like that for children that haven't had the best of lives, to try and give them some joy and really help the next generation of gamers grow. So they release exclusive variants. They're 20% more than the MSRP, but that 20% goes right to Gamers for Kids. And each of their variants have exclusive slipcovers just to them. So we launched earlier this year. We did Demon's Tier Plus, which there's still some copies left as of this time, but you can only get that at conventions. We did put some on the website. And we showed off the Series 3 slipcovers for each of the 3 games are going to get Gamers for Gamers variants. So we showed those off. So stay tuned for those for you variant hunters. Then we showed off the Premium Edition Classic Series, which is something we're all very, very excited about, where we took 10 aftermarket NES games. These are games that were developed by very passionate developers that can play on the NES, the physical NES system. So it's not like Shovel Knight or Cathedral where it's like NES style, but it couldn't really run on an NES. These games run on an NES. We took them and we ported them to the Switch in one collection. So it's going to be one icon, you boot it up, and you get to select the games from a menu. So you're getting 10 games. You're getting Orbodi's Binder's Tale. You're getting Nessie the Robot. You're getting Space Raft. You're getting Ninja 1 and 2. You're getting Kubo 3. You're getting Assimilate, Jester, Era the Crow Maiden, Doodle World, and Yaya BB's 2. These are all going to be on the cart, and we even have some bonus games that will be included on the cart only. There's a little bonus for everybody. So we showed off the standard premium, and we will have a retro edition as well, which we will show off at a later time. And this is coming summer 2022. So this isn't Series 4, this isn't Series 5. This is its own brand new series, and it's Volume 1. So we are looking into, continuing the series with Volume 2, etc.
Nice. That has me hyped. That kind of nostalgia just gets me in the right part of the feels.
Yeah, us too. And all the developers are really amazing people, and it's been a pleasure to work with them. And they're just to see them so excited to be able to announce this, because these are people who would dreamed of making a game for Nintendo, and obviously they have it, but it's not officially approved by Nintendo. It's not, it doesn't have that stamp. Now it does. The Switch version, it's going to be manufactured by Nintendo. It's an official ESRB rated release for the Nintendo Switch. It's not an aftermarket at this point. So they're overjoyed to get their game officially released. We're overjoyed to be able to be the ones to do it. And the reception has been exceptional. And we hope it continues that way. And we hope that when people get their hands on this, they get to enjoy, These are just wonderful games, and they're all different styles, they're different genres. And with any collection, if you pick up one and say, I didn't like that one, that's fine. Pick up another one. We think these are 10 great games. We enjoy them all, and we hope you enjoy them all too.
Nice. That whole thing just put a big dumb smile on my face when that came up in the direct. But then, as I recall, after that was one big epic announcement.
Yeah,
a certain 4-letter word.
Yeah, we figured that was enough. Like, the classic series was a great one more thing, and then we said, you know what? We really want to drive this home. How could we do that? Let's tease Series 5 a little bit, because going into Series 4, a lot of people were blind. They didn't know what to expect. So we're like, let's leave a little carrot on the stick for Series 5. And we're so thrilled to be able to announce that we're going to be physically publishing Raji, an Ancient Epic, the Enhanced Edition on the Switch. This is a game that I fell in love with. The second I saw it, my wife fell in love with it. We love this game. Our whole team loves this game. It is just a beautiful action adventure with beautiful storytelling and Indian culture, and the developers are insanely passionate about it, to the point that when it came out they wanted to go back to it and enhance it. And that's the version that we're again doing on the cart. Is we're going to get the enhanced edition with all the added bells and whistles and improvements over the original, and that will be coming later this year as part of Series 5. And we just teased the standard premium, but of course, like all our titles, it will also get a retro.
Now, any hints on when Season 5 and Raji are going up?
After the Classic Edition. The Classic Edition will come first. Series 5 is coming. All we can say is later this year. But Series 5 is being worked on as we speak. Series 4 is, approved and ready to go, and we're about to open pre-orders, because pre-orders are May 10th till June 10th for Series 4 at premiumeditiongames.com.
Those pre-orders go live the same day this episode goes up as
day.
well.
So the time is going to be 12 noon Eastern is when they go live. So if you're already listening to this and that time has passed, then they're live. Quickly go to Premium Edition and pick them up. Some things to note: the standard premiums are open pre-orders, so we want to make sure everybody gets those. But the retro editions are limited to 500 copies each on the webpage. So if you're interested in the retros, make sure to get those orders in as soon as possible, because we can't guarantee you getting a copy if you want one and they sell out. Another thing to note is that for all of our versions of Series 4, the standard premiums and the retros for both titles, we're giving an exclusive pre-order bonus on our webpage. This is only for premiumeditiongames.com. Should you pre-order, you will get a dog tag for each respected game, either Rain Your Parade or Wonderling, and these dog tags are high quality. They're beautiful. They're all printed on there. It's not a sticker or anything. And this is our way of saying thank you for supporting us, and this is our free bonus. We did this starting with the Demons tier Gamers for Gamers, and all Gamers for Gamers versions will have it, regardless of whether you get it at a show or from our webpage. But Series 3, we also did this pre-order bonus. So Series 3 pre-orders will also come with dog tags. And we realized that people might want our older title dog tags too. So what will be available on the website for $10 is you'll get our older titles, dog tag Series 1 and 2 with the chain, so that you can then collect all the dog tags as they come in and wear it with pride, and you have a nice little collection there. So that will be available the same time as Series 4 on the webpage.
Nice. That's a wonderful little way to kind of dip back to Series 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here with Series 4. We're going to play Sophie's Choice. If you could only get one of the two games from Series 4, which is your game?
You can't do that to me. That's like telling me to pick which child I like better.
I know. That's why I said we're playing Sophie's Choice.
All right, every game that we put out is curated. So we don't go fast. We release games slowly. So every game is played by our team. Every game is a game we love. Every game is a game we say, this is something we stand behind. So if it's something you say, oh, I see Wonderling and it's not a game for me, that's okay. Not every game is for everybody. We all have different tastes, and we all like different genres, and that's also okay. Just know that there's a reason we're putting these games out. These are games that we stand behind because we absolutely have a blast with them. Now, I do know Wonderling has a demo available on the Switch, so you can download a demo and you can try it out. I don't know if Rain does. I don't think Rain on your Parade does, but it was on Game Pass as far as I don't know. I think it still is.
It was on Game Pass, as a matter of fact, because one of our other fine folks in the network, Chris, who is part of I'd Play That for $1 with us, also does a show called 1H1D, where they go through games, a random game on Game Pass for the first hour, and see if it's something they want to keep going on. And Rain on Your Parade was one of the ones that they did.
And what was their conclusion?
I'm trying to remember. It's been a hot minute, but I will fish up that episode and I will stick a link to it in the show notes.
There you go. Yeah.
So you can check that out as well.
We couldn't put it down. We're like, oh my god, we just got to keep playing this because it's objective based levels as well as just mayhem. It's just mayhem, and it's kind of like if you ever play like SimCity 2000 and you build this beautiful city, and then you're like, I'm gonna put an save first, and then active volcano in the middle, and just see what happens, or tornadoes come through and see what happens. It's like that. It's like you get to play in that kind of realm. It's fun and quirky. As for which one I would pick, I can't choose. As much as you may want an answer, I can't choose. I love them both equally. There is not a choice. Both is the answer.
And you know what's great is that the people looking at picking up Series 4 stuff don't have to choose, even if they're on a tight budget too, because you guys have that wonderful little feature attached to your store online where they can break up their purchase into payments too with Klarna.
That is something that's not normally on our site. That might be from another site or using a different method.
Really?
Of payment, yeah.
Because I would say I put that to work myself for some of the Series 3 stuff.
I was not able to see that. I actually asked Jeff about it, but I did not know anything about that. So if that's there, that's great. But
like I said, I can speak to when I purchased Series 3, it was there and I used it, and it was nice because payday wasn't quite here and I didn't want to have to pick.
Oh, paying for over Shop Pay. Shop Pay.
There you go.
There, yeah. So that is there on the site.
So.
Yeah. So if that's something available, then great. That's I haven't really bought anything on the site, so yeah, the Shop Pay is there for interest-free installments. So there you go.
So that's great when it comes down to the wire and you're like, I've only got this much right this second, but you want it all. That helps. So that way you don't have to miss the release that you're looking for.
Yeah. These are something else, I tell you, and it's one of those things where people be like, oh, why these games? Why not, games like, this or that? And the answer is there's a ton of great games. And we only have so much time, and we feel that these are just two titles that when you get to play them, when you start to play them, you realize that these are absolutely worth your time and a ton of fun. And one thing you're talking about your show for Rain Your Parade, the Completionist did an amazing episode on Wonderling. And I've talked with people who said like, I saw the trailer and I wasn't sold on it. And I told them, it's just watch that video, like try the demo, and if and watch this video. And they watched the video and they said, oh my god, that game has so much more to it than I thought it would. I'm like, yeah, it's huge. Wonderling DX is a lot of extra content and a lot of stuff to challenge your brain, and it's a hilarious story too.
It looks fantastic. Like it had totally flown under my radar until I saw it on the Series 4 Direct, and I just giggled hysterically watching this, going, yeah, this is a me thing, and this is going to be a whole lot of everybody else thing.
Well, that's normal. And what I mean by that is, if you look at the eShop releases just on Nintendo, there's so many every single week. You're going to miss games. There's only so many hours in a day. There's only so much time we have to play. There's only so much we can play. So there's always going to be games that slip under the radar. We know this. It happens to us all the time. Phoenotopia, we saw that a big thing. So many people, where's Phoenotopia Awakening? I've never heard of this. This looks amazing. How did I miss this game? We heard it all the time. And it's sad.
That was
but
me.
Yeah, everyone. I'd never heard of this. And Phoenotopia Awakening is an amazing game. Well, these are the same. You may have heard of them, you may not have heard of it, and that's okay. And it's our job to bring to light some amazing titles that nobody, maybe people have heard of, but maybe you haven't heard of. But these are titles we love, and we want to bring them to attention. We want to bring them to the forefront. And for those that are physical collectors that don't play digital, now this is your opportunity to experience some titles that we feel are absolutely worthy of that physical treatment.
So I want to toss out a question here to you. And I know this is a little out of left field, but I'm kind of curious to hear your take, just because it's something that we at the network have definitely talked about on more than a couple of occasions when it comes to physical releases from limited print companies like you guys, as well as the plethora of others that are out there. Have you guys looked at given some of the shipping time delay issues that are out there, and by no means putting it on anybody as anybody's fault per se, other than just it is what the world is at the moment, but have you guys looked at the possibility of maybe doing a digitally bumped edition for your releases, where there's a digital code that we can screw around with now while we wait for the hard copy to ship?
So first off, we're not actually a limited company. We will reprint games.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where after the order is in, if there's enough demand, we will absolutely reprint, and we will make sure that we have enough copies for all orders and second chance sales and some for conventions and stuff like that. But we think the retros are limited, but the games themselves are not. So we absolutely will reprint. As for that, that's nothing that we've really thought about. In fact, we've focused more of our attention on shortening shipping times as more of a priority, so you guys get the games quicker and ways, because we've heard, we know one of the things is we haven't done a deluxe in a while, and the reason for that is the freight shipping. We hate having to wait months upon months due to freight shipping. We want to try and avoid that as much as we can. Two, we're making sure to get our orders in sooner. Some of our first releases, we didn't have lot checks until after pre-orders. Super Blood Hockey was supposed to come out before Pigeon Dev, and the idea was we were going to do the pre-order for Super Blood Hockey. We were going to order Super Blood Hockey and Pigeon Dev at the same time, and then we were going to come out and say, here's Super Blood Hockey shipping, and now we have Pigeon Dev. The reason that didn't happen is because Super Blood Hockey failed lot check multiple times, and Nintendo kept saying no. They passed Pigeon Dev, but they kept saying no to Super Blood Hockey, and it got to the point that it was delayed so long that we just had to put Pigeon Dev up. And then by the time we got everything ordered, they both came in at the same time, and we shipped them together, and we said, let's keep doing it this way. Instead of doing one and then another, let's just do them both together. and that was the happy accident that led to that. But we're doing like Series 4, for example. It's past lot check. Both games are already past lot check before we even put them up. The artwork is already been submitted to Nintendo because Nintendo has to approve everything, and they can't approve anything until a game passes lot check. They can't even say, well, while we're waiting, can you check out this art? No, it has to pass lot check first. ESRBs are already done. So we're doing all this stuff prior to, so that we can try and get our order in as soon as possible and try and get all our ducks in a row. You know, the manuals are already written for both games. You know, we're doing all these things to try and speed up the production without rushing it. Here's mistakes we've done in the past. We're learning from our mistakes so we can cut down. And if we can cut that down and get games out there within, you know, a couple months, three months, you know, or so, that would be our goal. And that would be great to do, and what we're going to shoot for. There are still, that being said, there are still things that are out of our control. You know, the world is a very, very evolving place, I guess is the word to use, and times since 2020, which is when we launched. So we launched, you know, post-pandemic, is certainly a harrowing new world that we're in. And one of the things we're also doing is we're changing warehouses. So in the process, you know, our current warehouse is shipping to our new warehouse, and we're shipping out from our new warehouse. And you know, that's obviously it's another step. So we're always asking people to just be a little patient, and that's why Series 3 hasn't shipped yet, and Series 2 orders that contain the Deluxe with other items haven't shipped yet. But you know, Robot Solo orders with the Deluxe have started shipping, as Larry here can contest to. His actually arrived, which is awesome to see.
Mine actually showed up about 20 minutes before you and I got on call. So, and through the magic of internet time travel, there should already be an unboxing video for this on the YouTube channel.
There you go.
Before this video goes up.
so it's one of those things where we hear you, and that's really where our goal is. We think, you know, digital codes are great and all, but it's just first off, that's a band-aid. Second off, our goal, you know, when people say, well, I'm going to get a digital code and then the physical, I'm going to leave my physical sealed and I'm just going to play the digital. Our goal is for you to open up the physical so you can do the challenges. So we want you to experience the game. So that kind of goes against the challenge patches as well. So we looked at it and said, let's try and speed up the process without cutting quality, because we've actually increased our quality on our slipcovers and our manuals. They're thicker, they're harder stock, they're matted, they're foil, they're beautiful. And we really want to up that. You're going to see that starting in Series 3 and the Gamers for Gamers versions, including Gamers for Gamers Demon's Tier, and obviously Series 4 onwards. So we looked at the things that we had control over: submitting for lot check, submitting art assets, getting everything done, and try and work on that first. And that's what we're doing. And we'll see how it goes, and hopefully we can get into the rhythm where we can get games out every couple months. And we'll go from there. But we really, you know, and I know people, you know, may say, well, I haven't got my Series 3 yet, and why should I purchase Series 4? Series 3 is coming, it's done, you know, it's going to be shipped out in the next week or so. But it's also one of those things where it took us a longer time to get here. Like, you know, we December till May, we wanted to speed that up, and that's what we're working on.
Nice. So, but before we wrap this up and close this out, is there any parting nuggets you want to share with anybody? Any last updates, tidbits, hints, messages, besides the fact that everybody should follow the link in the show notes and go get your Series 4 orders in?
Yes, that is the main thing. Because we go slowly, we really try and focus on the current series at hand. So while yes, Series 2 and 3, you know, will be shipping here very shortly, and that's super exciting, and we're happy for everybody to start getting their games. Our main focus right now is Series 4. So if you're listening to this, you know, go over to premiumeditiongames.com. You know, May 10th till June 10th is the open pre-order window. Rain in Your Parade and Wonderling DX standard editions are open, and the retro editions are limited to 500 copies only on the webpage. We also have the dog tag set, so feel free to add that to your order. Remember, all pre-orders for these games on our webpage will get the dog tags as a free thank you bonus, and that's only for our orders on our webpage. We stand behind these games. We love these games, and we think you'll love them too.
And so that we can make this whole ordeal a tax write-off, let's talk charity for just a minute. If anybody wants to find out more about Gamers for Gamers, where do we go?
Gamers for Kids.
Gamers for Kids. I apologize. There we go.
GamersForKids.com. You could absolutely check out their webpage, see some of the stuff they do. They've got a contact information there, and how to donate. And then if you want to choose to use your donation to purchase, games. Like I said, if you can find Gamers for Gamers at conventions, they should have copies of the Demons Tier Plus Gamers for Gamers edition. And you find that, you pick it up, 20% of your purchase will go right to the charity. And stay tuned, Series 3 will also, they're getting the Gamers for Gamers variants, and they will be coming soon. And Series 4 is also going to get the Gamers for Gamers variant. For that's going to come much later, but that is something that will happen.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want to say thank you very much for carving out a little bit of time to come hang, talk Series 4, have a little bit of fun, and help spread the word about some folks doing some good work as well. So, Barry, a pleasure as always. Look forward to doing this again for Series 5 when the time comes. Maybe we'll slip in between there and get together for the NES collection coming up as
Classic
well.
Series absolutely would be an honor.
Yeah, buddy. So, and thank you to everybody that stopped by, gave a listen. Make sure you head over to premiumeditiongames.com, get your Series 4 orders in right now, and we'll see y'all back here next time with Hard Copy Hounds. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Peace.